Sans is one of the newest contenders in the growing market of no-install countertop reverse osmosis systems. But can it actually compete with top performers like AquaTrue, which remains the highest scoring filter I've tested so far? Well, after numerous requests from you guys, I put the Sans Water Purifier through our full set of hands-on tests and lab analysis to find out, and the results were a mix of impressive surprises and a few frustrating letdowns. If you're considering the system or just want to see how it stacks up against other popular countertop RO filters, keep watching. I'll walk you through exactly how it performed, including which contaminants it removed from my water and where it fell short. Let's start with the price. The Sans Water Purifier retails for $499.99 at the time of this review, making it one of the most expensive countertop RO systems I've tested. That price doesn't include the optional remineralization filter, which adds another $20 to the total. And in my opinion, it is a worthwhile upgrade if you want to add healthy minerals back and raise the pH of your purified water. The unit comes in either white or black, with no price difference between the two. Now, when you compare the Sans to something like the SimPure Y7P, which is $150 cheaper and delivers similar performance, it's hard to justify the premium based on features alone. That said, the long-term cost is fairly typical. Filters last either 12 or 24 months depending on which stage it is, and I calculated an ongoing cost per gallon of about 14 cents, well within the typical range we've seen for other point-of-use RO systems. While there are definitely a few drawbacks to the Sans Water Purifier, which I'll get into in a minute, there's also a lot to like. For starters, it has a few features that set it apart from most other countertop RO systems, including an instant hot water dispenser and an internal UV light. Now, I think Sans does oversell the UV feature by claiming it acts as a final purification step, which might imply it's suitable for treating non-potable water. It's not, and we don't recommend using any RO system with untreated, microbiologically unsafe water without proper pre-treatment. But the UV light is useful for preventing bacterial buildup in the tanks over time. Efficiency is another strong point to mention. The Sans system has a 3:1 purified to wastewater ratio, making it one of the most efficient RO units we've tested. It accomplishes this by recirculating water through the unfiltered water tank, which helps minimize waste and unavoidable downside of the RO process. I also liked the overall design. The smart display shows you the TDS level of your purified water in real time, and the filter life indicator will take the guesswork out of maintenance. It comes with a glass collection vessel, which sounds great at first, but there are a few quirks which I'll explain later. The unit itself is also plug and play. Setup was simple, just unbox it, clip in a few parts, clean the tanks, and you're good to go. The one tedious part was the filter flush. The manual instructs you to run 4 full batches of water through the system before first use, which took us about 36 minutes. A bit boring, sure, but it was easy and mostly hands-off. And ongoing maintenance is minimal. Aside from occasional cleaning of the glass pitcher and tap water tank weekly, your main task is swapping out the filters when the display tells you to. And finally, the warranty. Sans currently offers a 3-year warranty, which is a major plus. Most countertop RO systems only come with 1 year of coverage, so this gives you an extra layer of protection against defects or early failures. Now, for the areas where Sans falls short. Let's start with the glass carafe, because while it initially seems like a major selling point, it's not as great as it looks. The system gives the impression that your purified water never touches plastic, but in reality, the water is first stored in an internal tank made of polypropylene plastic before it's dispensed into the glass vessel. That little detail isn't mentioned anywhere on the website, though it is mentioned on page 6 of the product manual. So I contacted customer service about this to get clarification. At first, they simply told me the internal tank was made from BPA plastic, which of course raised red flags. After a bit of back and forth, they clarified that it's actually BPA-free polypropylene. Still, the fact that this wasn't clearly disclosed and that water sits in plastic before it reaches the glass carafe will likely be a deal breaker for those looking to completely avoid plastic contact with their purified water altogether. Then there's the instant hot water feature. It's useful, but a bit limited. You can't select a specific temperature, and in our tests, the water didn't reach the advertised 201 degrees Fahrenheit. At the spout, we measured 194 degrees, and by the time it hit the mug, the temperature dropped to around 160 degrees. So while the feature works, it doesn't quite live up to their marketing claims. Another downside is the lack of third-party certifications. The Sans system isn't certified for material safety or any NSF ANSI performance standards for contaminant removal, despite a misleading icon on the main product image. Now, certifications aren't legally required, and to be fair, most of the other countertop RO systems we've tested aren't certified either. But it would still be a meaningful trust signal, especially at this price point. We measured a flow rate of 0.046 gallons per minute, which puts Sans on the slower end of the spectrum compared to other models we've tested. Lastly, it took 63 days for the Sans system to arrive after I placed my order on January 14th, 2025. I didn't receive it until March 18th. I'm not sure if this was a one-time supply chain delay or part of a broader fulfillment issue, but either way, something to keep in mind. This didn't affect the product score in this category, but I thought this exceptionally long wait was worth mentioning. So one of the main reasons Sans didn't earn a top spot in our list of the best countertop RO systems comes down to its performance in our lab testing. While it did well overall, it simply didn't provide as thorough contaminant reduction as the highest scoring systems we've tested. For this review, we used TapScore to analyze before and after samples of our water. Their detailed reports not only list the specific contaminants detected, but also compare them against both EPA standards and stricter health guideline levels. The Sans system completely eliminated detectable amounts of several contaminants, including uranium, fluoride, nitrate, phosphorus, manganese, molybdenum, copper, zinc, and chlorine. It also significantly reduced sulfate by 80%, barium by 96%, and strontium by 85%. Those are solid results, but when you're evaluating reverse osmosis systems, which tend to perform extremely well across the board, the bar is already high. For example, some of the best systems we've tested have achieved complete removal of every detectable health-related contaminant. We also saw a substantial reduction in mineral content. Calcium dropped by 89%, magnesium by 61%, and sodium by 85%. This was despite using the upgraded carbon filter with built-in remineralization. The final water had a pH of 9.7, up from 7.2, likely due to an increase in carbonate concentrations. That's consistent with what we've seen in other RO systems with post-filter remineralization. While these filters do add some minerals back, they typically don't replenish them to the same levels found in the original unfiltered water. So is the Sans water purifier worth it, and who might it be best for? Based on our testing, I'd say the system comes with a few noteworthy strengths, but also some compromises you'll want to be aware of before you buy. It's more expensive than many comparable countertop RO units, and the lack of third-party certifications and the use of an internal plastic storage tank for filtered water are important considerations, especially at this price point. These may not be deal breakers for everyone, but they're worth factoring in if you're looking for maximum performance and transparency. That said, Sans does have a few appealing features, like the instant hot water function and its modern, minimal design. And if the aesthetic is what draws you in, it might still be a good fit depending on your priorities. But if you specifically want a glass carafe and care about verified contaminant removal, I'd recommend looking at AquaTrue's carafe model instead. It's over $100 cheaper than the Sans system, delivered better results in our lab tests, and is extensively performance certified. Most importantly, the purified water goes directly into the glass carafe with no plastic storage in between. If you're leaning towards the AquaTrue carafe or just want to see how it stacks up in real-world testing, don't miss our full review. We ran the same lab tests on the AquaTrue system and broke down exactly how it performed, which contaminants it removed, and what makes it stand out from the competition. Click or tap to watch that video next, especially if you're serious about getting the best countertop RO system for your home.